Greetings, my dear viewers, the Pyramid on Air. In this video, we will fully analyze the third and fourth episodes of the Multiverse SKIBIDI toilet. We find out, what abilities does the Titan Clockman have? Why is he the strongest of all the Titans in the multiverse? We will also look at all the secrets and Easter eggs that you may not have noticed. We remember that the second episode ended with an army of SKIBIDI toilets attacking the Clockman base. In the lens of one of the cameramen, we can notice the Titan Clockman, as we can notice a torsion pendulum on its shoulders. He probably came to save his allies, but suddenly time is rewinded, and we are in the same city that was shown to us in the second episode. I think now we are being shown the events that took place after the Clockman helicopter saved the Alliance from the battlefield and flew to the base. Most likely the Titan Clockman came here to cleanse this city of SKIBIDI toilets. We see how from below the SKIBIDI toilet attacks the TV man and the cutie TV woman with a scythe. However, when we turn our heads, we see that this SKIBIDI mutant also wants to attack us, from which Titan Clockman saves us with his shuriken. It looks quite hefty and looks like a real Giga Chad. If we freeze this frame here, we can see that it has body parts from all Clockman, for example. 2 torsion pendulums on the shoulders and a cuckoo house on the back. This means that he has the abilities of all the Clockman and can both stop time and turn it back. In addition, on his face, we see a clock that twists into a spiral, which creates a feeling of something endless. Perhaps he can be in several time periods at the same time. Also in its core, we can also see a clock with gears, and it seems to me that thanks to this, he can travel in time. Since in episode 15, we were already shown the ability to move in the space-time continuum. Shurikens float in the air around him, which he controls with his mind to attack the enemy. Just like this is implemented in the updated Titan TV man, who can disconnect TVs from his body for further attack. After our rescue, Titan Clockman decides to deal with the other toilets. He shoots the cannon first at one of the toilets below, and then at the flying SKIBIDI of the toilet. Oh my god, the power of this gun is simply incredible because it literally stops time for the creature it is shot at. Let's take a closer look at his gun. There are particles floating in the air before it fires, and I think the gun collects time energy before the attack and then forms it into a sphere that freezes the creature for a certain amount of time. But how many minutes or hours does the victim freeze? I think it depends on how long the gun was charged before firing. In this frame, we can see that the gauge is lit in red, which means that there is some kind of limit for charging the weapon. And I think that if the scale is bright red, then most likely there will be a time explosion, due to which all creatures nearby will be frozen in time for an indefinite period. But I hope this Giga Chad can control himself and his abilities. When Titan Clockman shoots a red sphere at this toilet, it also freezes in time. Bro, it looks like you've been stuck here for a long time. However, Titan Clockman uses one of his abilities, similar to the magic of Marvel's Doctor Strange, and charges the cannon with a green orb that brainwashes this toilet. And with the help of his ability, he subjugates the toilet and makes him a puppet. He probably made him his slave for a very long time, because he also appears in the 5th episode of the SKIBIDI multiverse. Astro toilets fly to his aid, but are immediately destroyed by a large toilet. Suddenly, someone from behind shoots at the Titan Clockman, but he didn't even flinch, as if he didn't even feel anything. He turns around and sees a SKIBIDI scientist who has upgraded his toilet and added a helicopter to it. The Titan Clockman is ready to fight him, but unfortunately we were not shown this battle. But I am sure that the Titan Clockman easily defeated the SKIBIDI scientist. The 4th episode begins with us playing chess with TV Man, but suddenly there is an explosion, and we see SKIBIDI Scientist. He is slightly different from the SKIBIDI Scientist from episode 3. Now we will try to understand all this and build a chronology of events. In the 2nd episode, the Alliance fights with the SKIBIDI toilets, but they realize that their numbers are very small, and therefore a Clockman helicopter flies after them, which rescues them from the battlefield. Meanwhile, Titan Clockman decides to clear the city of the remaining SKIBIDI toilets. When the helicopter arrived at the base after a while, they were also discovered by SKIBIDI toilets, who had gathered an army to attack the Clockman base. Then the leader Clockman sent a Morse code to the Alliance, asking for the Titans' help. At this time, the Titan Clockman receives this message and flies to the Clockman base to destroy the army of toilets and save his allies. However, we are not shown this battle, and most likely the Clockman won and they managed to recapture their base. Then the Titan Clockman and several of these guys arrive in the same city, and from that moment the 4th episode begins. I hope you understood what I just said, because Dom Studio made these episodes a little confusing, and it took me a while to understand everything and find the connection between these episodes. When the Titan Clockman decides to attack the SKIBIDI scientist, G-Man appears from behind, firing his lasers at the Titan. However, his lasers also don't do any damage to him, and he charged his cannon to stop those jetpacks from working. G-Man appears in this multiverse for the first time, but he remains as cowardly as in the original SKIBIDI toilet series. The Titan grabs G-Man by the head, and he tries to use his powers to control the mind, as he did in the third episode. At this moment, a beam flies out from Titan, which flies straight at G-Man to subdue him. But suddenly he is attacked from behind by SKIBIDI Scientist, and the Titan does not have time to complete the time therapy over this toilet. At this moment, we hear the ringing of a clock and see how a temporary shuriken flies towards SKIBIDI Scientist. However, he flies very slowly, allowing the Astro toilets to fly in and intercept him. But why do they need Titan Clockman's shuriken? Most likely to study it and develop new temporary shuriken for SKIBIDI toilets. Titan knocks out SKIBIDI Scientist with one punch and then G-Man. And this was the last blow to his face, since for 19 episodes, we did not see him again. But Dom Studio announced in his Discord that he will improve his weapons and armor and then return to take revenge on the Alliance and on Clockman for his brutal blow. After this, Titan turns around and sees other SKIBIDI toilets flying towards him along with Titan Cameraman. The Titan Clockman really wanted to fight him, but the leader Clockman indicated with a gesture that the fight will take place next time, since the Titan Clockman needs rest, because we see how its core is already beginning to spark, and smoke is coming from inside, which tells us about serious damage. The Titan Clockman agrees to this and decides to leave the battlefield. To do this, he charges his cannon with time particles to stop his opponents in time. But before that, the SKIBIDI Scientist comes to his senses, and he again wants to get a slap in the face from the Titan. The Titan provides him with this service without any problems, and then shoots with temporary spheres and disappears. But pay attention to the lightning around him. At this moment, it is as if he is collecting the energy of time and charging with it in order to then teleport. Just like his gun is charged with particles to freeze the victim in time. However, the toilets begin to fall and explode. What do you think that just happened? I'm guessing he doesn't have the ability to teleport because the Titan TV Man and SKIBIDI Scientist have that feature. It would be stupid to use this ability on the Titan Clockman, since he manipulates time, so why does he need teleportation? Most likely he can not only slow down time and turn it back, but he's also able to speed it up, at least for himself. He accelerated so quickly that we didn't even notice how he destroyed these toilets, and then quickly ran away. The ability to manipulate time is the most powerful ability in the SKIBIDI multiverse, which is why Titan Clockman is the strongest Titan among the existing Titans. This was also confirmed by Dom Studio himself in his Discord, calling him the strongest Titan. While POV cameraman watched the Titan Clockman and his ability to accelerate time, the other members of the Alliance boarded Clockman's helicopter and simply flew away, leaving the POV cameraman with enemies. We know that TV Man can simply walk away from the battlefield, leaving his allies in a difficult position, but why didn't TV Man teleport to the ship with him? This remains a question for me. POV cameraman stretches out his hands to the flying helicopter, but the helicopter was already far away and they didn't care about it. SKIBIDI Scientist recovers from being hit by Titan Clockmans again, and he attacks this poor POV cameraman. His fate is tragic. This scene reminded me of Simp Cameraman, who was also left to die in the rubble. In the following episodes, this series becomes more and more interesting, and there are more and more secrets and Easter eggs. May the force of the pyramid be with you. Good luck!